It is day 227 of the second Trump administration. And tonight, the White House is under growing pressure to release the Epstein files. In an emotional press conference on Capitol Hill today, survivors shared stories of sexual abuse at the hands of Epstein and his co-conspirator, Ghislaine Maxwell. And they blasted Trump's recent claims that their calls for transparency are part of a hoax. The bombshell presser was organized by a bipartisan duo, Democrat Ro Khanna and Republican Congressman Thomas Massie. NBC's Hallie Jackson was there and has more.
A rally tonight and a rallying cry.
We will never be silenced again.
Never! On Capitol Hill, pressure building on GOP leadership to back the release of more Epstein documents in a rare alliance between MAGA allies and Trump foes.
What if this was your sister? What if this was your daughter?
Republican Thomas Massie and Democrat Ro Khanna leading the effort to get enough signatures to force a vote to compel the DOJ to release all files. 3 Republican women splitting with the rest of their party so far to back it. One leaving a meeting with survivors visibly emotional. Nancy Mace, who shared her own story of sexual assault, later saying she had a panic attack after listening to their stories. Despite the White House calling any support a very hostile act toward the administration, Khanna nodding to those Republicans backing.
They won't be part of a stunt or a hostile act. This is about standing with survivors.
If all Democrats sign on, as expected, only 2 more Republicans would be needed to force a vote. And as survivors called on members to do so, GOP lawmaker Victoria Spartz watched alongside us after still undecided.
This is an issue that's important for a lot of American people, so I need to learn a little bit more.
President Trump today trying to downplay the spotlight on it all.
This is a Democrat hoax that never ends. Thousands of pages of documents have been given, but it's really a Democrat hoax.
Mr. President Donald J. Trump, I am a registered Republican. There is no hoax. The abuse was real.
Survivors now pledging to compile their own so-called list of people they saw in Epstein's circles, as one told us yesterday.
We'll compile our own list and seek justice for, on our own. I mean, I think that's what's going to happen next.
It all comes just one day after the House Oversight Committee released tens of thousands of DOJ files in the Epstein case. But we checked, and many of them were already public and left survivors demanding greater transparency. With that, I want to bring in our nightcap panel to get it started. John Allen, senior national politics reporter for NBC. Philip Bump, former Washington Post columnist, and Democratic strategist Joel Payne. He was also a senior aide for Hillary for America and press secretary for former Senator Harry Reid, and former New York congressional candidate and journalist John Avlon is here. He hosts the Bulwark podcast, How to Fix It with John Avlon. Such a great panel. Thank you all for being here tonight. I want to start the conversation centering the survivors. There's a lot of politics around this, but John, you have been covering this very, very closely today. What else did we hear from the survivors, and how powerful did you think their message was?
Well, it was really an incredible scene, Simone, at the Capitol today. We've seen clips of the interview that Hallie did, the group interview that Hallie did, of these women describing how they were brought in to Jeffrey Epstein's circle. Some of them, many of them in their teenage years, just harrowing stories, one after the other, of sexual abuse, and not just the sexual abuse, but the really predatory pattern of having one woman or one girl in a lot of these cases recruit others. This, stunning abuse of children, basically, we've known about for such a long time, but being at the Capitol today, trying to put pressure on lawmakers to release all of these files. It was really I think the sort of apex of a moment of survivors asking for justice, pleading with their government to give them the justice that they believe and many, many Americans believe they deserve.
It was so stunning. Earlier today on our show, Michael Steele, my colleague, said the thing that struck him from the press conference was that so many of the women who were speaking said that they were 14, 13, 15, 16 years old when the abuse started. And it's just so harrowing. We also spoke to a survivor of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell's abuse earlier tonight on our show. I want to play for you some of what she said. This is Liz Stein.
I'm a reasonably well-educated person, and I didn't even realize that I had been trafficked until Epstein was arrested in 2019. And that's not an uncommon experience. And so I think that part of what we need to add to this conversation is what we're actually looking at when we're talking about sex trafficking. It's not a little girl with blonde hair and blue eyes being snatched up by a guy in a van and chained up in a basement. It's much more mundane looking than that. And I think that if people really understood what sex trafficking looked like, the perspective might be different.
This is what we're talking about, Joel, sex trafficking. I thought that Liz was just very powerful in speaking with her tonight. She came forward and is going to continue to speak up and speak out. Sometimes the human side of this gets lost and we get very caught up in the politics. Talk to me about that piece.
Yeah, Simone, the stories are just harrowing, and the accounts from these survivors are, albeit enraging and frankly inspiring, that they have endured and that they're at a place where they can share this publicly. I agree with you. I don't think that the politics should overwhelm the human tragedy element. I can't, however, miss the political scene where you have Ro Khanna hugging Marjorie Taylor Greene. I mean, that was striking. And what that says to me, that doesn't say, by the way, that Marjorie Taylor Greene is going to start caucusing and working with Democrats more and that Democrats can forget all the things that they don't like about her. I think what it does say, though, that the truth is pretty powerful and pretty compelling, and that the truth can overwhelm a lot, including bluster and including partisanship. And I think for one day, I think it showed us that the accounts of these people matter, and their stories and their experiences matter. And no matter what the politics are, and no matter who keeps the political scoreboard, people using their voice matters. And we'll see where the story goes from here. We'll see whether or not, there are enough Republicans who will join with the Democrats to, actually call on the type of transparency that the discharge position calls for. But I think that's honestly, Simone, the most remarkable scene for me today is seeing the crossing of the aisle of not just any Republican, but really some of the staunchest Trump allies working with Democrats to advocate for these survivors.
Okay, John, let's break that down, because Joel is making a point now. I think everyone here knows I'm no fan of Marjorie Taylor Greene, but I do think it is important to underscore that Marjorie Taylor Greene came out of the QAnon wing of MAGA Republicans. It's a very specific subset. And a foundational belief of QAnon is that there were these cabals being run by Democrats and celebrities and very rich people who were trafficking children, and that Donald Trump was the person that was going to expose and pull the cover down about what was happening and all of this corruption and this trafficking of children. So to me, Marjorie Taylor Greene being there is like she's actually standing on business for what she says that she believes in. But I wonder what your take is on this, understanding that while all this was happening today, the White House called the bipartisan discharge petition a, quote, hostile act, really trying to strike some fear into the hearts of Republicans.
Hostile act. Mm-hmm. Yeah, look, I think, I suppose Marjorie Taylor Greene gets points for consistency, and it's always good when you see any glimmer of bipartisanship with Ro Khanna and Marjorie Taylor Greene or Thomas Massie. I think it's important to recognize, though, as you indicated, that this has been the Epstein saga has been a meme conspiracy that has been elevated and amplified. Obviously, there are real victims here, and there is no reason not to have full transparency. But it's striking to see every Democrat voting, saying they will vote for this discharge position to get transparency. We've got 4 Republicans. We need 6. The administration could not be more clear that they see this as not just a distraction, but a threat, a hostile act. All folks are asking for is truth and transparency. And that should be table stakes in American politics, both for the dignity of these victims, but to also put some of this to rest, to have some measure of healing. And the fact there is such a deep partisan divide, I think, is worth, as while we celebrate the bipartisanship, let's look slightly beneath the curtain, and you'll see it's lopsided right now.